Hey everybody, welcome back. This week's update, we have a bunch of new stuff. The whole house, pretty much on the inside, has a coat of paint on it, although there's still a lot of prep to do. For some reason, they put a coat of paint on and then they prep the walls. I guess it helps see the imperfections. So as you can see, this is the color. It's called Shiitake by Sherwin-Williams. And we love it. It looks almost powdery gray at times, and then right now it looks really beige. But I think it's going to look great when the house is furnished. It's definitely what we had in mind. It's warm without being too, it's not as bright as white, obviously. We also have the windows out, which you can see over here. These are the protectors they're going to stay in, so they had to take the windows out to start scraping these and sanding them down to paint them. They're going to be painted black.
And you guys can see in the background there, the wall for the front of the house has been taken up now, and they still obviously have some finishing to do. Let's see. And I'll take you guys out there so you can see that.
Yeah, it really added a lot of privacy. It blocked most of the view of those houses across the street, and we can plant some bougainvillea across the top of that wall that will finish blocking the view.
What other updates? So electrical outlets and
Outlets
switches.
Switches are in.
Switches.
A lot of the
The
recessed lights are in.
Yeah, the faceplates have not been put in yet. All the floors are now done. They still have to buff them. Here are the recessed lights in the kitchen that they've put in. Not much has changed here in the actual kitchen. There have been some issues. We're gonna step out back now. There have been some issues. So the other day we were over here and we had noticed that they were putting on the paint on walls that had not been sealed yet. And so we asked him about it, and he told us that
everything had been sealed.
That it had all been sealed, and we were literally on the rooftop terrace talking about the painting, and literally the workers are literally painting right in front of us with no seal, and it was clear, no sealant. And so then we started raising questions about other issues as well, and so that was not a good conversation. But this is just a little bit of a tour around the backyard while we tell you guys about the paint debacle. So now what they're going to do is, this is the gas tank that was removed from the rooftop. There was a couple other things, and
the architect said that the gas lines had all been replaced, and we were looking at a gas line over here that it looked old as hell, and it had been painted in the new paint color, but it was also zip tied to an obsolete phone cord. And we're like, "Are you sure that was replaced?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sure it was replaced." And we're like, "It doesn't look replaced." And so he asked the guy who does the plumbing, and
really close to your face.
and the guy was like, "Yep, I replaced that." And we're like, "Well, we don't believe you." And so he's like, "Well, let's go up on the roof and I'll show you."
No, it was like, they kept saying, "No, it's been changed, it's been changed."
Yeah.
And I was like, then why would it be painted over with, why would it have old paint,
zip ties on it?
zip ties, and it just didn't register, it didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And so they kept doubling down with, yes, it's brand new. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Let's get on the roof and let's look. And so we climbed the roof, all four of us and some other workers. And sure enough, you could clearly see.
He's like, "Well, we did reuse some of it."
Well, it wasn't until we got up there that, I looked down and you could see where the copper pipe had come out of the roof, and it was clearly sealed in with the old paint and everything, and so there was no possible way it could be new.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the conversation changed, "Oh yeah, well we did use that. Reuse that." And it's not so much that they reused it, as the fact that we paid for brand new, and they tried to get away with not replacing it. So now you can clearly see it is brand new.
It elevations are a little more strained than they were before with the architect.
Yeah.
They're already going downhill with the architect, and I may have let the word liar slip during our conversation, so he's not very happy with us right now.
Well, you know, we're paying for a certain standard, and that's the reason why it's super important that you're on site paying attention, because had we not been, we would not have caught any of that. And the architect, when we brought this up to the architect, he was all like, oh, well, that's the reason why I offer a 1-year warranty. And I was all
like, no problem that we didn't seal your walls.
Yeah.
If the paint peels, you have a 1-year warranty. Well, what if it peels on year 2?
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, well, let's go take a look around and we'll see what else is going on. All right, guys, so now we're on the rooftop terrace. We had to go get ceiling fans, so we actually came over to the house a little bit later in the afternoon today. So today's actually Saturday, and we're losing light quickly, but we wanted to go ahead and film a little bit of an update while we're here. So behind me, this is the exterior wall color as well. And surprise, it's shiitake, the same as the interior. There's a couple reasons we did this, and some of you guys will remember that the inspiration house that we had shown you guys, it was a little darker color with pops of green. Well, our architect, so we showed him that 2 months ago, and we discussed it with him, and he knew the house and everything was good. Well, he kept asking, he asked us 3 additional times for the paint colors, and we had shared it with him. And so we had shared that with him multiple times. And so this last time we sent it to him, he goes, oh, well, you do know that a darker color is going to fade faster, is going to retain more heat. And on top of that, if you do a darker color, I'm going to have to charge you more because there's more involved in a darker color. Yeah. None of that conversation had taken place at all, and over the last 2 months we have been stressed out about this paint color, as many of you guys have known, because you guys have been providing us your opinion on what we should do for paint color. And so we got so frustrated that we just got to the point where we were just like, just do the same color in and out, make it simple, easy. And so
I actually love it out here. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I do. And then it
looks, it's a big blank wall, but the color is beautiful.
I mean, the color we had chosen would have been beautiful as well.
That's true.
It's just annoying that this kind of conversation has to happen. Well, so if you guys look up here, this is where we were getting on the roof the other day to look at the pipe on the roof. We were getting up right here, and the worker was literally here painting right in front of us, and we had already had this kind of conversation about the ceiling, the paint seal, and we literally asked the architect, so has this been sealed? Yep, it's been sealed. I think he has. And he asked the worker, has it been sealed? And the worker said yes. Well, we're going up the ladder here, and we tested it right here. This all had splatter from when they plumbed this wall, like plaster splatter over there. So they didn't even clean it. And that's what, at that point, we were sent over the edge. And so when we got up on the roof, Jeff kind of lost it and was just like, look, there's just lies after lies. And, he was kind of losing his stuff at that point. And so it's unfortunate that the conversation had gone that way, but it's super important that you're on site paying attention to this kind of stuff. Before we even began the project, we had a friend down here who said, you guys should hire my girlfriend. She is a fireball. She is on site every day and she works for you. And we were all like, no, the architect has a foreman who's going to be there and blah, blah, blah. And we're doing an at-cost renovation. So if the workers steal anything, it comes out of his profits, not ours. And so we didn't feel, and we were here. And in hindsight, I wish we would have paid the money and had her do it, because it's a nightmare.
It's really hard to keep track of.
Yeah, because we don't know what's going on. We're not construction workers here in Mexico. We don't know what the process is, or anywhere else. And we don't speak the language, and so I think it would have just been better if we had hired somebody. But surprise, so this is the color. In fact, we actually love it. And with the ironwork, we actually decided to go with just straight black because of the lighter color.
Yeah, all that'll be painted black. It was going to be urbane bronze, but I think the black will look good with this color, and it'll also look good with the black windows.
Black windows. And showing the wall.
There's a peek into the front yard. Oh yeah, tall wall, really tall wall. I was worried that maybe the wall was going to block too much sunlight off the pool because the sun sets over there. But you know what? The trees that were there that were cut down were 30 feet taller than that wall, so the pool's still going to get a lot more light than it would have if we had kept the trees, or if we had been able to keep the trees. Do we want to see anything else in the house before it's totally dark?
I'm not exactly sure that there is anything else to see inside the house. It was really just the kind of the final touches. So this
Looks
week,
like today they worked on buffing the floors.
yeah, I think he said that they were going to start going over it with sanding.
It's like a floor sander, and then it's going to get sealed. But there's this sanding, and then there's going to be another sanding, like a finished sand.
It's kind of dark already.
Yeah, it's pretty dark in here. Looks really cool without those old louvered windows. Like this giant window is literally going to be 2 panes of glass, one of which will slide.
Yeah, this one will slide.
So there's going to be a lot less like sort of visual noise than there was before. So it's really pretty. You can kind of see the outside paint color over there too. We're not doing a contrasting trim color on the house. We're going to keep it all basic bee beige, as our friend Sunny calls it.
Yeah, Sonny's a little disappointed in the the BBB paint color.
So shall we wrap it up?
Yeah, so this week, hopefully windows will be going in. We are meeting Victor over here on Wednesday. So hopefully a little bit more has progressed. And yeah, it seems like it's moving pretty well. Like I think he said light fixtures, like ceiling lights and stuff are gonna be going in this week as well. So we have to go pick out the light for the stairwell, which we have kind of picked out, we just haven't paid for yet. Because it's rather large and we're going to need to have them deliver it over here. And then I think this week we have to go get appliances, but we can't really get appliances until the floors have been sealed, so that way they can move the appliances inside. So hopefully a little bit more work and a little bit more progress. We're hoping we're back on track, but relations with the architect are strained at this point. And we're trying to keep our cool, like we're trying to just roll with it, trying to remember that things aren't going to be perfect, the walls are not going to be perfect, and some of the stuff that's happening is just the way it is, but we're trying to point things out as we see them, so that way we're not holding resentments and getting even more frustrated.
Did we tell him about ceiling fans?
Yeah, I think so. But we brought ceiling fans over to the house today. That's the reason why we're here so late. So we're hoping that we can just wrap the project up and no major catastrophes. And I think so far we're pleased with where the direction is going right now. So stay tuned. Apologize for the lighting again, but we love you guys and can't wait to see you again next week.
And the goal is to be living here
At the end of the month.
at the end of May.
That's a little
Fingers
optimistic.
crossed.
That's a little optimistic. There's 2 weeks left, so let's see how realistic that is.
Thanks,
That's
y'all.
the main goal. Bye.
Bye.